couple of other things, and this one I consider the most important, which is model evaluations and red teaming. So evaluation and validation, in my opinion, and especially in healthcare, is one of the most important parts to understand, is that model safe to use? And how should it and for what should it be used? And I think most of our resources should go here. Because if someone puts out a model and is saying, okay, this model is now extracting mentions of diabetes from free text in patients. The most important part, if you are deploying that in your hospital, is you want to have your test set, you want to have your validation set, and you want to test that model on your data. If you test it on real world data, basically on data that is in the hospital, if you test it there and you get your, accuracy that is satisfying your needs, I can use this model. And
yeah. Well, you need to take it to other hospitals then, and then other languages, other countries, other demographics, and then you can say, okay, it's generalizable.
Yeah, no, it is true. Okay, here some borders have to be a bit defined, because it does not make much sense if every model now we have to take to every country and test in it. I mean, the primary test for your hospital will be on your data.
Yeah.
Of course, the more hospitals we test it on, the better. And by still think the main test is on your data.
I love the idea of a red team. So for those who don't know what red teams are, long story short, I think the term was invented in World War II, when they're basically building defenses, like kind of constructions of defensive towers and stuff, and they hired people to see if they could break in to their own building. So same analogy. It's very common in computer science and AI to have a red team, a team that's actually trying to poke at the model and find inconsistencies or weak points within the model. I just love that idea. Is there such thing as a clinical AI red team? If there is, I want to be a part of it. It sounds so cool.
At least we don't have it. I don't think there is one in the UK as of now. Maybe as part of...
That'd be so fun.
Oh, we should, 100%. And I think that would be, exactly. Your job is just to try to trick the model and try to get it to output something it shouldn't.
That's great. Okay, so for the listeners, if you want to form a red team with me and Joko, get in touch. It's going to happen.
No, this is like one of the things that I really think I needed. Red teams are very popular in computer science and especially in security. So if you are talking about security of, bank systems or any kind of IT infrastructure, you usually have red teams. Sometimes in computer security, they are called white hackers or ethical hackers, which is basically you hire a hacker to try to hack into your bank system. If they do that, then they report the exploit and you fix it. And the same thing is here. So it is very necessary, and I really think most of our money, effort, everything should go into these two things: model evaluation, validation, and red teaming.
Nice. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. And
were there any... Sorry, keep going. Yeah.
I want to touch upon this just a bit more, because I think this is not a lot of emphasis is put on this, or a little bit of emphasis put on this, especially in healthcare. Because I think to be able to have these validation sets, to have your data sets, you need to prepare the infrastructure, you need to prepare the groundwork, you need to put a lot of work into it, so that, because if I've created a model today and I want to deploy it in a hospital, first of all, today that is extremely difficult. And just testing it on the hospital data, there is no test beds prepared. The IT infrastructure cannot even handle that in most hospitals. And let's not even talk about like testing it across multiple hospitals, just because there is no like one entity or there is no one place where that data is available. Hospitals even cannot communicate, cannot share data between themselves. Data is usually locked away. Like, we first need to prepare this test bed, we need to prepare this environment so that when AI companies, when researchers, when even clinicians, anyone who comes with their model, you want to enable them to easily test it. And I think that's one of the main tasks that the government, the NHS, should be focusing on. It is enabling faster validation, testing, improvement of this AI, and not slowing it down with putting more rules. Just like if you prepare validation environments, anyone would do it. If there is a company now and you can tell it, oh, come to this place, or in this infrastructure, we have data from 50 million patients in the UK and you can test it, everyone would do it. There is no way someone would be like, oh no, I don't want to do that. Everyone would by themselves then want to do the validation, the testing, the AI safety.
Yeah. I mean, it's a misnomer, right? We're called the National Health Service, yet the data is completely fragmented between hospitals and trusts. Like, you know, we're lucky that here at St. Thomas's and King's College Hospital and the kind of London and Maudsley Hospital, the data is linked in some sense. But that, even getting that to happen was very difficult. Now just imagine nationally, the systems don't talk to each other. So it's very hard to actually test, even if we build a great model, very hard to actually take it across the UK and test it on different data sets.
Yeah, and even more to train it on different data sets. I mean, if you want safe systems, one of the main things to do is enable people to use real data, enable companies to use real data, train on that data so that the models can be used on such data. Like, it doesn't make sense that you're saying, or that government is talking about and the NHS is talking about AI safety and then saying, yeah, but no data from any hospital can ever be accessed. It's like, we first need to solve that problem before we can go into talking about using AI in a safe manner.